Today, for our shared reading and writing lesson, we are going to write a class story. Remember, we write a class story after reading or interpreting the pictures. And remember, whatever you see on the picture, the ideas that you give for a story has to do with the story and the pictures. Now, remember, Nathan just said for us a good story, we need the beginning. We're going to eventually write a class story. We're going to get to the writing of the class story by reading and interpreting pictures and just giving ideas as to what we think is happening on the pictures. In the end, we will give our story a title. Teaching resources was the Konnichiwa box. Right there you have their attention because you'll be sliding the pictures in and out of the box, and it will be just like watching a silent movie. And what are the 3 parts that make for a good story? What does your story have to have? Nathan?
Beginning, middle, and end.
Beginning, middle, and an end. Now, if you look up on the board, I have 3 different sections together. What do you think it is, Delran?
A face, a body, and the tail.
The purpose of using an end to write the ideas, at this age or grade, the kids are into animals, bugs. When they see something concrete, then it captures their attention and imagination. We usually present our shared reading and writing lessons over 5 days. On day 1 of the shared reading, that's when the teacher introduces the pictures. You show the pictures to the learners, all of the pictures, and you just talk about the pictures, what they see on the pictures, and what their idea of the story behind the pictures might be. So for day 1 of the shared writing, the focus here was also on parts of speech, adjectives and verbs. And the kids, on day 1, as they tell you what they see on the picture, you encourage them to use those colorful words.
I see 2 ants with blue and red. I see 2 big feet.
Tadiwa sees 2 big feet. We all see the 2 big feet, right? Very good, Tadiwa. You have used a colorful word there. What is the adjective that Tadiwa used, Kuratile?
Big.
Big. The next day, we choose the first few pictures and we delve deeper, and that would make up the beginning of the story. Really good look at them, and then think of ideas that we can use.
Once upon a time, there were 2 ants, one red and the other blue.
That's when we write the ideas on the head of the ant. Blue. And then on the board or a big piece of paper, you write those ideas when you fill in the words. So you basically write your sentences. 2 ants. For day 3 of the lesson, that's when we look at the other pictures that would make for the middle of our story. There again, we just bounce ideas with the kids. You know, they look at the pictures and they tell you what they think, but it needs to connect with what they said the previous day for the beginning of the story. So there needs to be a continuation.
Suddenly the boy started to sleep.
For the middle, we have these ideas. Suddenly fall the boys asleep. Right, remember the middle is where the fun stuff happens. You remember the hamburger? What's in the middle? The meat, the beef patty, what else?
The sauce.
The sauce.
And also the cheese.
The cheese, all the other stuff that you choose to make your burger even better. We write the ideas on the second part of the end, and then we rewrite on the board or on that piece of paper, we rewrite the sentences that makes for the middle of the story. So in day 4, we look at the pictures that would make for the ending of our story. And it needs to connect with day 2, the beginning, day 3, the middle, and now day 4, the end of the story. On day 4 of the shared writing, we look at the pictures that would give us the best ending for our story. I'm going to give you options for the ending of our story, but obviously you need to say something about the pictures before you can give the endings. And the endings are, it had finished at last, or, and that was the end of that. Obviously, you need to say something about the pictures before you can say, and that was the end of that, right? Or, our favorite, they lived happily ever after. Right. Now, let's hear the sentences for the ending.
The boy woke up and he flicked the ends of his face.
His face. Of all the possible endings that I gave you, which one do you think will fit most with our story, Cameron?
And then they lived happily ever after.
Happily ever after. So on day 5, you look how you can connect all the ideas for the story and then give your story a title.
Our title can be The Two Little Ants. The ants and the boy. The little boy and the red and blue ant.
Can we have one more possible title for our story? And can I have something really wow this time?
You could say The Disturbing Ant and the Boy.
How do we choose? We should vote. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Wow. Let's all read it out. The disturbing ants and the boy. You edit the whole story. You read through the whole story with the kids. See if there are things that you can fix, if those need fixing. Is that sentence correct? What is missing there?
The sentence is missing a full stop.
A full stop, but we started it right with a capital letter at the beginning, and there's a comma here. What does the comma tell us? Slow down. The 2 ants were trying to climb, someone said a word, the boy's legs. You climb?
Up.
You climb up. Climb is an action word. You use your legs, and then you flick something. You use your fingers. There's action involved in your flicking. Let us see if we can find adjectives.
Red and blue.
Blue, right. And if we're all happy with the title and the way our story turned out, then the kids will then go back to their desks and they will copy the class story into their books.